Hello everyone, I am Shivantika, legal intern at Lexis and Company for the month of June. And today in legal news, the Kerala High Court has highlighted that the service benefits of a female partner in a live-in relationship cannot have a better claim than that of a legally married wife. So let's dwell into the video. A division bench at the Kerala High Court on this Wednesday, while deciding a matrimonial appeal, held that there is evidence of long cohabitation of a man with two women simultaneously, one pursuant to the ceremonial marriage and the other not so. The presumption of a valid marriage leans in favor of the former because of that reason. The appellate Rajiv approached the court aggrieved by the order of the family court disentitling her of the family pension and other death benefits of the late government employee, who she claimed to be her husband. The brief background of the matter is that the employee of the South Western Railways, Raghunathan, passed away on 31st January 2009 while he was already in service. After his death, both the appellant and the respondent raised rival claims before the railway for the service benefits, and they contended to be legally wedded wives of late Raghunathan with two children, each born of the respective wedlock. As such, they even asserted their entitlement to receive the family pension and other service benefits of the deceased. Subsequently, the respondent filed a petition before the family court to declare her the wife of late Raghunathan and sought a permit prohibitory injunction basically to restrain the authorities from disturbing family pension and other benefits to the appellant. The family court in the aforementioned relief through its judgment, the present appeal has been filed challenging the said judgment. The question that arose for consideration before the bench was among the appellate and the respondent was the legally wedded wife of the deceased. The bench, upon an analysis of the oral and documentary evidence adduced by both the sides, gave an opinion that there was no concrete evidence to prove a valid marriage between the respondent and late Raghunathan and pursuant long cohabitation between them. On the other hand, the evidence tendered by the appellant was found to be weak, shabby, and insufficient to prove her case. The division bench had admitted the generally long cohabitation of a man and woman for a number of years may raise the presumption of a valid marriage unless proved otherwise. However, it was observed that when there is evidence of long cohabitation of a man with two women, begetting children in both relationships, one pursuant to the ceremonial marriage and other not, the presumption of a valid marriage leans in favor of the former, even if the latter relationship commenced prior in point of time. So, the it is true that the parties to a live-in relationship or non-formal relationship who have lived together for an extended period of time could be bought within the purview of laws relating to maintenance or domestic violence and could be considered as husband and wife for these said limited purposes. But parties to such relationship cannot be elevated to the marital status itself. As such, the High Court asserted that the family court below was absolutely justified in declaring the respondent as a legally wedded wife of Raghunathan. However, the appeal was only allowed in part. Two other findings of the family court were found to be erroneous and set aside by the division bench, and they were that one was deciding the legitimacy of the appellate's child. So, the family court in this judgment had observed that since there is no evidence of the marriage between the appellate and Raghunathan, the appellate children cannot claim any right over his property or death benefits. This was found to be unsuitable for certain reasons. The High Court also pointed out that under Section 7(1) with respect to explanation E of the family codes implied that only a suit for declaration as to the legitimacy of any person was within the family code's jurisdiction. Legitimacy here proposes to a valid marriage. This cannot be stretched to adjudicate upon legitimacy of any person born in a live-in relationship. So, moreover, the children's entitlement to the said death benefits was adjudicated and decided without hearing them. They were not even parties to the original petition. Therefore, the finding of the appellate's children were not entitled to the properties, including the death benefits of the late Raghunathan, was set aside, and the railway authorities were given the liberty to decide the same in accordance with the law. Also, the second was the railway authorities were given a liberty to take decisions on the entitlement of the death benefits of late Raghunathan. For that reason, the court found that the relief of permanent injunction granted by the family court against a party outside of the matrimony is uncalled for and was accordingly set aside in this case. That's it in today's legal news. Thank you so much for watching.